I am die cut crazy, I admit, and I love to find unique dies and then design a bunch of cards with them to share with you. Hello and welcome to Karen's Creative Cards on YouTube. I am Karen Hashik, and recently I purchased a couple quilt dies from Gina Marie Designs. Gina Marie Designs has a huge selection of very reasonably priced dies. In fact, noticeably more reasonable prices than most die cuts anywhere. I purchased two quilt dies that I'm going to share with you, and of course links to all the products used and the blog post with more details on these cards will be in the description box. This one is the number 12 quilt that's called Blocks and Lines. So it looks like that, and if you cut out it 3 times with 3 different papers, and then in this case I put it on a 4th blue, you will get at least 3, maybe 4 cards, each one unique, because if you used, of course, this piece on this one, then you would use a different piece on the next one. So, and it's really easy to put together, which I'm going to show you. This is the first card that I made. It's a thank you. And as you can see, it just creates a really fun quilt look on the front of the card. Then I use those same colors, and in this case I have the darker blue here and the sparkly blue in the actual die cut in the centers. So each one becomes unique, but you get a bunch of different cards each time. This might be my favorite of the 3. You can, if you like, the paper underneath, like I did in this one and this one, just leave some of those spaces blank, and then you have another color introduced. So I used on many of these Tailored Expressions sentiment strips, and this one says Happy Mail Just For You. The card that I'm going to make with you with this die, I started with that same designer paper for the front, and another Tailored Expressions sentiment strip, which is celebrating with you today. I decided to make the quilt shape out of a copper mirror card from Tonic. And then I have these pieces. This one is like putting a very easy puzzle together, and it's super easy. So the large squares go in each 4 corners, each of the 4 corners. And all of these have stitching on, which I don't know if you follow me, you know that I think that stitching adds really lovely interest to any die cut piece. So we have the 4 squares, and then we have 4 longer kind of arrow pieces. Again, is stitched, and in this case I decided to continue with the copper for those. So it's like putting a beginner puzzle together. Very, very easy to do, but so fun to make different quilt patterns with these. I decided to use copper in the center, but I popped that one up for a little bit of interest. So the square in the center, or diamond, which depends on which way you look at it, is going to be popped up a little bit. Then I have these smaller arrows that are going to be in that kind of wavy blue paper that I had. Now I could choose to leave these blank, but I decided I had these extra pieces from the other cards that I made, so I am going to add these stitched pieces on as well. I should have 8, just want to make sure I did have that before I started. So there's a little bit lighter paper that has some texture to it. So you can see, what did that take me, all of a minute or two to put that together, but yet we have a beautiful quilted pattern, very easy to use, but lots of fun to create unique quilt cards with. The second die cut I got from Gina Marie Designs is the number 14, and it's Triangle Me. So it has different triangles, and depending on how you put them back in, you get a different pattern every time. So I cut it out of 3 different purples, and so in this case I did the one color here, and then I created the circle there, and then the 4 corners was in a different color. So, and in this case it's a Sue Wilson, May All Your Wishes Come True on the bottom, and I added some gems that are also from Gina Marie Designs on that one. Here's another one that looks different. I did leave some of those blank or open to get the deep purple from the card base on that one, and added gems in a circle on that one. So everyone looks different, which is really fun to do. In this case, of course, I did the center, and then I did those triangles in one color, and then those other ones in another, and then the corner in something different. So depending on how you put things together, you have very different looking quilts. I decided that I was going to create a baby quilt. It's going to be an easel card, and I used a green patterned polka dotted paper on the inside, and regular green on the outside, and I'm going to put my quilt right here. I used another one of Tailored Expressions sentiment strips, and I like to cut those in white and then add a little color depending on how I'm going to use it. So that part is ready to go. I cut the triangle die just to get the base, or the main piece, out of white, and then I layered it on a Kreative's scalloped die. So that's going to be our baby quilt. Now, I have to be honest, normally when I show you guys a card, I've already done it entirely, and so I don't have any question about if it's going to work or not, but I think it is. But one thing I found about this die is you can cut it out of 3 different colors and just make piles and figure it out. And it's obvious what the corners are. But these openings and these openings are all a slightly different size. So it can get, it's not hard, but you'll figure it out. If you put one that's too small in one of these, you'll know it right away. But I decided this time to take, I have 3 different colors of polka dotted paper here, and I cut them out and then put them on press and seal. So this is the pinks, and this is the blues, and this is the yellow, and it's all polka dotted paper that will kind of look like baby paper. And so as I'm designing this, if I put all these triangles in a pile and then try to figure out which ones go where, it can get a little bit, it's not hard, but it's easier to do this. Let's just put it that way. So I'm just using a gem picker up here. Then again, it may not work to get them off of that. We'll see. It might be better to use a knife, huh? So in this case, I know I want these inside triangles to be yellow. these are different sizes too. Isn't that interesting? I did not know that. All right, so it's every other one is bigger and smaller on around the inside too of this part. And I'm going to make it with you. And because I have them staying in the place they started, it will be easier to pick them up. And then I can save them for another card right where they will go for the next one. I think what I'll do is do some and then not make you sit through all of them. The next color that I'm going to use is the blues, and that's going to be around the edges, the corners. And then it's also going to be these middle triangles. Let's see if these will work to pick them up. Oh, press and seal is too sticky, which is the point, of course, is to keep everything together. So it's going to be all the corners and then all the way around these. And then the pinks are going to be the other triangles around the edge. So it's like putting a puzzle together. I'm going to finish and come right back. So as you can see, I finished putting my baby quilt puzzle together. I have pink going all the way around there, and the blue on the inside and in the corners, and the yellow in the inside circle. And I added some gems in the center and around the center. I debated about colors, but I decided to go with a light pink. Almost all the gems that I use are always from Gina Marie Designs too. She has excellent prices on these, and you get 3 different shades, sometimes sparkly, sometimes not, in 3 different sizes. So they too are my favorites. And I have some sticky tape here. I'm going to make this an easel card. So I'm going to put the quilt on the front, but just adhered to the bottom part of the front. It will lay flat, of course, to mail, and then can stand up. And you can see that it is an easel card, and the quilt is in the front. Welcome little one with a little romper. So again, another fun quilt card made with these Gina Marie Designs quilt dies. I sure had fun making and sharing all these cards with you. I hope they've inspired you to try some for yourself. Thanks for watching, sharing, and subscribing, and thanks too for helping me share the joy of creativity.